podcast. Good song.
Yeah, this sounds like something carrots could grow to.
Crunch into us.
What's up, Doc? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Fuck them.
Crunch.
Hello. Oh, wait, no.
Hello, and welcome to the Kerrit podcast.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yep, and then that's we're off.
The end of the episode.
Okay, great.
It was good.
It was
good.
great to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Bye,
Okay,
all
bye.
you carrot cakes.
Carrot cakes. Dude, I will say, if anyone has been on Zoom or anything like that, or for the YouTube people, the most fun thing to do is fake an Irish goodbye with your laptop. It's dude,
Bye.
Bye. See ya. Because you can you're like, oh, I hope their dick isn't out as it's going down.
Man, seriously, this has been fun. No, okay, that's enough. That's enough. No,
well, thank God I don't have to blur your shirt out like last week.
I know, right?
I had to go through the whole video to make sure.
Well, it should only have been in a couple frames, I think.
Yeah, it was just a couple. It was when your kitty cat was on.
Well, that's what you get. Cats are the worst. But anyways. Oh, geez. I'm almost 30. Our good friend Wesley is 30.
Yep, Wes.
Happy birthday, dude.
I was thinking we could get him on the pod.
That's a great idea.
I think we
That's a
could.
great idea.
We could do that during our little mid-season break.
Yeah, because I would talk to him for about 3 hours, just about anything.
Yeah, I would too.
Because luckily he's in Utah, not Texas. So
that is true.
There's no relation there, by the way, everybody. Texas and Utah aren't even that really close. So
I've driven to Texas. I've been in Texas before.
I've always wanted to go to Texas, and I've always, because there are so many cities, big cities there with their own culture. Like, you know how you go to a city and it has its own culture. Chicago is different from New York, it's different from Los Angeles, it's different from Minneapolis. And Texas has like San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas.
Yep.
And it's like, what, there's a bunch of stuff going on down there. So like it's its own country. It's huge.
Yeah, it
All
is.
of this to say that I don't know if you can reconcile how shitty the government is anymore.
Yeah. Well, they're trying. They're saying it's the green energy that failed, and it's like, you are the dumbest, easiest brained fucking person. It's not even close to that.
I guess what I mean is, like, it used to be kind of like, well, who cares? It's not that bad that it's like a well-known right-leaning state or whatever, Like, you used to be able to kind of ignore it and be like, I'm going to go there anyways, and I know they love their guns, and I know they love their freedoms, but it'd be kind of fun. And then now you're like, oh, so, like, their infrastructure has catastrophically failed. Sorry, it's not funny. It's really not. It's really awful.
What you said is
funny
what you said is funny. It's the situation isn't, but
it's funny because those guys are so corrupt that they've been kind of like dicking themselves over this entire time, just putting more money in their pockets, and now it's finally the chickens have come home to roost. And they're still lying about it.
I think that's the thing that you see with all kinds of corruption, because you don't notice it until it's too late. I mean, the Flint water crisis, that was to save money, fucked people over. This whole, we're going to privatize our grid system so we can't get energy from other states in case something goes down. It won't. It did. And then the misinformation that just starts saying that it's like, it's the turbines because they're frozen. It's like, you got to keep up the turbines, and the turbines in Antarctica are still fucking working. So there was a report insane.
That was released in like 2011 that was like, you need to update your shit.
Of course, and they won't, because not enough eyes are on it, and now all the eyes of the world are on this shit, and the institutions are crumbling, and we're almost a year into COVID, so I'm so hopeless.
I think it's pretty I have to say it is incredible how widespread it is down there. because it's not like just one section. It's like everywhere.
It's the whole state.
It really is. You can't really just escape it. And that's a really big, I mean, it's...
You just described how big it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's technically the second biggest state, but...
what is California?
No, Alaska would be the largest.
Alaska.
But, like, you know, obviously there's a huge difference in population between the two, but it is basically its own country in terms of, like, you know, GDP and stuff, because they have all that oil and whatnot going on down there.
Yeah. Well, maybe if they would have heeded the warnings about global warming and climate change, but that's also a thing that's built into their government, because you know, I think it's still a right, or like a red state, isn't it?
Oh, totally.
Okay,
yeah.
But there's Austin that is like made it.
Yeah, I think
purple.
A lot of those cities are slowly starting to become a little more liberal, but you still have so much DNA, Republican DNA in there.
Yeah, Ted Cruz, good guy.
What
a fucking ass clown.
Saw the photos of him on the plane going to Cancun. How, you know, these guys, it is so impressive, though, that they're able to continue to do this and not face any repercussions. It's genuinely impressive. I don't really know even what other word there is to describe it.
I mean, we saw it with the impeachment trial. It's just this amount of lying, that you lie so much, and these people are so... the people that are supporting them are so... Either they're not getting the information or they're completely ignoring it, but these people are evil. And you're like, I love the bad guys. You know, I like, do you watch... How are these people watching movies? Are they watching a Bond film and they're like, God, I hope this secret agent gets killed? What are they doing? Are they rooting for Bane? I don't comprehend.
I mean, think about it in their terms. They're watching Steven Seagal movies, probably. So they're watching On Deadly Ground, and they're like, this is the greatest movie ever. And like, yes, Michael Caine is an oil baron who deserves to die in this movie. And then they turn around and they're like, voting for Michael Caine.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Well, they just can't draw the parallels between, like, it's even funnier when there's a movie that like is a socially impactful movie, and you know, everyone's just like, oh, that's about this situation, and they still don't even understand how they're being fucked every day. Ugh.
Like Mad Max. Like, do not become addicted to the water.
And they're like, yummy. I'll take it in bursts.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We love you, Immortan Joe. Fucking losers.
Yeah, it's.
We love you, Immortan Cruz.
Immortan Cruz?
Like Ted Cruz. Would it be Immortan Ted? Is that better?
Went to Mission Impossible, of course. Whoops. Even though we're talking about this, yeah, it's you know, we'll see how it plays out, I suppose. Obviously, we're still in the middle of it. They still have power. It's been like 4 days now.
Yep.
It's gonna be 5 days starting tomorrow, I believe.
It's
at the time of this recording.
Yeah. I mean, this will go up at midnight, so.
Okay, so yeah, so it's up to date in terms of what's going on.
Well, what else?
Cool. Well, see ya.
Bye. I'm always afraid of doing the computer close and then like accidentally like really closing it, and then
it just cuts off,
and then it shuts off.
You're still there, so yeah. I can't go too far because I really don't know. I don't want to stress. I don't want to test the limits of stress. Is that what the word is?
Yeah, you don't want to stress out your Ethernet cable.
Yeah, well, I was just like more so like I just don't want to, because I think it gets to about, like, you can't tell, but it's probably down here. Okay, I can't. It's hard to measure with hands. It's in the way the screen is in the camera, but
for me, I think it's like a finger. I think it's
a single finger. I mean, you're still open. This is amazing. You're still open. Oh man,
well,
that was so cool.
my snowball blocked it because I have that in there.
So I guess that's where it doesn't work anymore.
I'm a big dumb idiot.
No one knows this because you're watching a stream and nothing has happened in your timeline, but there was a solid 6-minute gap where Gerrit Where you shut the computer and the meeting ended, and then the audio had to process. And anyway, that's good to know.
That's how far it can go about that. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh God! Oh my God!
But it is. I mean, how sad is it where that's like the most exciting thing that's happened in the past year? Like that's top 10 of like one of the most exciting things. Where it's like, oh, what a funny moment.
I know.
It's so hilarious.
I know. It's so stupid, but it's true. Well, it's because you can really just count moments on your hand at this point. It's pretty simple, it seems. So
one thing I have noticed is that like if you watch anybody give a speech, because I was watching Pelosi today talk about, I can't remember, but she had a mask on, and I didn't even have a second thought. I was just like, oh, she's got a mask. Oh wow! Like it just became apparent that that's not weird anymore to like watch somebody have a mask on and like speak into a microphone. It's, you know, you've become acclimated to it basically.
Oh, totally. I mean, I feel like I was acclimated like 3 months into it, and now that it's been a year almost, it's like it's second nature. It's like, what's up? It's just part of it. I'm in a mask all the time. That's great.
Yep. I started doubling up. So you'll wear a surgical mask, and then I put 2 filters into my like cloth one. So I have like, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 layers.
What are 2 filters?
You.
What do you mean? What is that?
So the mask I have is like it's not custom made. It's like you can get it from like someone on Etsy or wherever I got it, but it's got like a little I'm using my hands to explain something.
You are, and it's still not helping, and I can see it.
It's got a little pocket on the inside, so you can put an N95 filter on the inside of it. So it's got like a little flap thing, and then you put the filter in, and then it's got the front covering that the straps are connected to.
Gotcha, okay.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I've only been single masking because I did receive the first dose of the Moderna vaccine.
Congratulations.
Cool.
How do you feel?
So the first day was like fine. I think I don't remember if I napped that day because I was like tired. I'm always tired though, so it's hard to know if that's like a symptom.
That's the thing. I saw a lot of people are like, oh, fatigue. And I'm like, what's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
Everyone should be.
I will say this, though. The next day was the day of the Super Bowl, and I woke up with, like, a crazy headache and just, like, aches all over my body. Like, the aches you would get if you were, like, had the flu.
Yeah, yep.
Where you're just like, what the hell is this? And you also can't really find a good position to sleep in because of all these aches, and especially because your arm is hurting.
Did you lift weights?
I did not. No, I lifted some things. Like I remember you telling me that, and like so, if we were, you know, if I was if I'm in the apartment, if we went somewhere, I would like do a quick lift, like of just whatever I was carrying, or like whatever was near me, but nothing like prolonged or sufficient enough to be called
working out.
Doing it, yeah,
yeah. I have LaCroix. Things. Jackie has weights, but that's what I was using before she bought
like
weights.
Cans of LaCroix?
Yeah, like a 12-pack because they're heavy. I mean,
okay. I thought you were talking about a can. I was like, well, that's not even a pound, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's what I'm gonna. When I get my shot, I'm just gonna lift 1 can of LaCroix.
Just like
I might up it to a triple shot Starbucks thing.
You got like woke up from a coma and you're trying to ward off atrophy. Like what's going on here? Like Steven Seagal in Hard to Kill.
Oh, jeez.
Woke up and was ready to kill. It was so weird. It made no sense. He was in a coma for like 3 years in that movie. He had a fucking beard and long hair. And like, that.
I guess they must have turned me a lot of times. Mason Storm, is that what his name was in that shitty movie?
Storm, yeah. He was hard to kill, though, to be fair. Anyways, I'm not... So yeah, I'm excited. I should hopefully get the next one in the next couple weeks here, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm allowed to do now, or once that happens. I mean, can I go to the gym and wear a mask? Like, is that?
I think so. I was listening to Fauci last night because they've been having like briefings every day. I don't know if it's every day, but pretty regularly. And he was basically saying that they're looking at studies. They obviously have to be peer reviewed, but the indications from these different studies are saying that once you get vaccinated and they've taken effect, right? Because you have to have a certain amount of time after each dose to have it take its desired effect.
Right.
And once it takes the effect, it's 94 to 95% effective.
Right.
But it's basically, you have to look at the viral load, I guess, in the nasal, whatever, it's specific terms.
Mm-hmm.
But a person who is not vaccinated will who is able to pass it will have a higher viral load. That's just the funniest phrase to me. But so if you're vaccinated, you will have less of a viral load, so your odds of passing it are very low.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So even if you have, which I think it's called like it's an what is it? It's like an out. I can't remember, but the thing that's called, it's like a. This is why I'm not a scientist, and I need to read things, because if I just hear them, I don't really pick it up.
Yeah.
But I have to read the thing, so just you're fine. I will still be wearing a mask for not like precaution necessarily, because I do believe in the vaccines. I'll do it for other people's peace of mind.
Oh yeah,
because the amount that I hate people that don't wear them, I don't give a fuck if you had it and you're fine now. For 3 months, you're fine. Do it for other people.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't stop doing that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'd love to do things. You know,
Yep.
It's like, why not at this point? Or at that point, it'll still be obviously like a solid month or so.
Yeah.
So I still have to get the second dose and then let that take effect. But yay!
Did they fill you in on all that stuff when you got it?
I mean, not on like, the activities I could do. They just filled me in on like, this is how long it takes to come back. Here's this. We'll email you a follow-up, and then you can sign up for the next dose. And that's a couple other things. I mean, I don't remember everything. It was like a dream, because when you walk in, it was just like, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
And they required so much documentation to even get the appointment. And then when I walked in, they asked if I had that documentation, and I said yes. And then they never looked at it.
What documentation do you need?
So, for example, one was like the email that I got that invited me to it.
Okay.
Like just saying I was invited. And I was like, yes, I have this email. And like they never looked.
Jeez.
So it was just kind of weird because, you're nervous and you want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. And it's like you just walk in and there's no confirmation process. They just say, alrighty. I mean, I don't care. It's fine.
I will say this: it's probably all confirmed with like you're not stealing. No one's stealing your identity to go get this thing.
No, that's
did
true.
Did they check your ID?
They did, but
okay.
They did check my ID, and then they asked me to fill out a form to put in my insurance information.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and they said it was free, but they would like bill something to the insurance in place to get to pay the workers or something. And I was like, I don't really. I mean, whatever. That's what it's there for.
Yep.
I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, you're not allowed to know this information.
Dude, when the club was open in June, there were people that were pissed about contact tracing because you had to give your phone number.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want you around me at all if you're not going to fucking play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yeah. Dude, yeah.
So congratulations, though. That's exciting.
It is exciting.
But you felt shitty the next day.
Yeah. I felt shitty the next day and pretty much the next few days. Like,
mm-hmm.
I didn't feel too bad. It was much more so of like just being super tired.
Yeah.
I am tired all the time, but it felt like I was like unreasonably tired.
Okay. Well, that's the thing is, I think it's first of all, to quell your worries, if you have any.
I don't care.
If you get those symptoms, that means it's working, basically.
Yeah.
Your body is acclimating to what you are, experiencing. So if you do get it, and it does kick you in the ass, it's not going to kick you in the ass as bad as it would have.
Right.
So,
and for me, it was such a monumental moment, and I don't usually look at the needle going to my arm whenever I get like shots or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was kind of conditioned not to do it this time, and I realized, like, man, I really wish I had actually looked, because in my stupid brain, I was paranoid that maybe she put the needle in and like it didn't go in all the way, like the vaccine. Because like, this has been a year in the making.
I know.
It's like, I realized that I didn't treat it as almost like as honorably as I should have, or as memorably or whatever. And I was a little disappointed because I was like, did it happen? Like, what did they do? I don't know. I don't actually know.
You're among a very small percentage of the population that's gotten their first dose of the vaccine. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I think it's like 1 out of 8 now has had at least their first shot, right? I think that's what my last.
Yeah, that's great and all, but it's only a specific group of people, really. I mean, it's like it's mostly old people and people who are working with the public, like with sick people, and and it's different state to state. So.
Yeah, here, it's been like all over the place. Like I know, like Heather still hasn't gotten hers, and she is working in person with kids.
That's
in
insane.
A school, yeah. And so I'm reading these articles that come out of that are just like, we need to vaccinate teachers before schools are open, and I'm like, where are you living? Because schools have been open.
Yep.
It's really weird. It seems like a weird, I know gaslighting gets thrown around a lot, but it kind of was like, are you not doing your research? Like, this is not, this is a huge issue everywhere, right? I mean,
I keep seeing that, and schools are like, my siblings have been going to school.
They have been. Okay.
And
that's
I'm like,
Michigan.
Yeah. And I'm like, how are teachers not a priority? That's insane to me.
Yeah, and then some people are still like, well, teachers shouldn't be the priority. We still have to make sure like the 60+ age group gets it first, because even though the vaccine's been out for like 2 months, they still haven't gotten that entire population. I don't know. It's such an odd distribution process. I guess that's the pleasure of living in a place where like the states have their own rights, and then there's the federal government who kind of does some things in some ways. And
yeah, they can take pot away from everyone whenever they fucking feel like
but
it, but they can't
like,
get a goddamn vaccination rollout process.
Isn't that weird? I don't know. There must be. I wonder what the set of rules are that are in place that kind of differentiates between those two rules. Like. I saw a thing where Biden actually was doing a town hall, and he was talking to an audience member who was concerned that their kid could not get the vaccine, and this kid was immunocompromised and had like the lungs of a 60-year-old. He's like a teenager, and Biden's like, well, I can't force states to do anything. Like each state has their own distribution method. We can't do anything about that. And so I'm like, well, why? Because again,
what is the what does federal do then in that situation?
Yeah, like why
literally
are they
nothing
to enforce marijuana laws?
Yeah,
but not these.
To me, this should take more precedence because it is a federal. This is the United States, and this is a health crisis. I feel like this is something that it should be able to take the reins, not. Shutting down dispensaries because you feel like it on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
They've gotten better at that, to be fair. I think.
Yeah, because more states have adopted it. When it was like 3 states, they would try to shut it down whenever they could. And your cat went by.
There's a cameo by my cat for everybody that's not watching.
You mean a catio? All right.
No, that's not a word. Did you say catio?
Come on.
I don't think that's a word. Were we trying to say rodeo? I mean, it's kind of like a rodeo because, like, there's an animal.
So we're having fun.
Yeah, we're having fun. Well, yeah, I'll be lassoing things later.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. So.
Yeah.
Let's
anyway, yeah, let's take a break.
I mean, we've already taken one, but
yeah, you listen to the lettuce or the carrot. Eat your vegetables.
And we're back.
Hey, so what if there's a horror movie, and it's directed by Dinesh D'Souza? Like, we can rope him into this.
What else? Dinesh. What else has he done?
Like 2016 Obama's America, and
oh God, gross.
That guy. There's so so we'll get him in on it. And the horror movie is going to be, it's going to take place during, like, let's say 2013. And it's going to be Michelle Obama is the serial killer. And she is trying to make, like, grade school kids eat their vegetables.
I forgot.
Like, I'm going to make you eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would work because you can't have fun parodies anymore without it being a statement.
I know. It's so... I mean, The Hunt was banned by the president. You remember when The Interview was like, that was like North Korea was threatening to fucking blow up America because of a fucking movie.
And the studios caved and they actually didn't release it. And it's
that happened. And the same thing happened with The Hunt.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you watch the movie, it's not at all an anti-Trump thing. It's like, it's well, it is if you look at it from like the money, the wealthy and the rich are doing this. And, you know, Trump like caters to those people and also the dumb people that think someday they will be rich. Mm-hmm. So
it's like The Purge, right? Because The Purge is all about, especially like the second two, are all about like elites kind of egging on this violent situation for their own viewing pleasure.
Oh man, I forgot about that because that was like the end. That was like the last controversial. That was 2019, right? That was like December 2019
for The Hunt.
Yeah, wasn't it?
I want to say that sounds about right. I never saw it. I didn't want to see it.
I didn't either.
It's so weird that movies exist now that like I don't want to see, like the
A Quiet Place 2.
I don't need to see that movie at all. Mm-hmm. That's a great example of something. Also, just like Denzel Washington's new movie. Here's another.
We're in the Matrix.
Deja vu. Oh no, there's bricks in the windows. That's not even a line in the movie, and I said it in his voice.
I know kung fu.
I have to just get this out of here. There we go. So there's this noise in my headphones, and I was
wondering where that was coming from. I could hear it too.
You could hear it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. I was like, this needs to stop. I had a tab open.
I thought it was your cat playing, like reenacting Stomp. I was like, what is this?
Oh, I hated Stomp. I hate Stomp so much.
It's dumb.
What were we were talking about?
Movies that you don't want to see.
The movie. Oh, there's the Denzel Washington, Rami Malek movie, The Little Things. And like, I kind of have been like meaning to find time to watch it. Mm-hmm. Sort of like it's on the hella back burner.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna probably never watch it, even though it's like a theatrically released movie that I could watch for free right now.
Yeah, I bought Tenet because it was on sale.
Nice.
I haven't watched it yet. I bought it.
Nice.
I haven't watched it.
I've been. I don't normally do this, but I rented a movie on Amazon Prime for like, I think it was $4.99, and I noticed Tenet was also $4.99, and I was like, damn, I'd pay $4.99 to watch that because I've been really wanting to see that movie.
Did you watch it?
No, I watched The Kid Detective instead with Adam Brody.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It was on the recommendation of Red Letter Media on YouTube. I really respect their opinions.
Okay.
The movie's amazing. It's terrific. It's really good. It's basically, do you remember Encyclopedia Brown?
I do.
Okay. So the joke is, Encyclopedia Brown has grown up to be like an alcoholic private eye who's no one like he never amounted to anything. He's not really good at anything.
Great.
It's like a dark comedy. And so, but it also, and I'm not going to get into spoilers at all because I do highly encourage you to watch it without knowing anything.
Okay.
It's kind of cute and funny because it shows him solving those mysteries, and it's like it's kind of whimsical almost, but it also has a really solid sense of reality, and it really captures that feeling of growing up for the millennial generation. Like really, really captures it.
Okay.
In a way that I haven't seen in a long time, where it's like, damn, this is crazy. Since
like Brigsby Bear.
Maybe. Yeah. I really don't want to give spoilers, but it is like that's a great movie.
I bought it. I love that movie.
Yeah, and it is. I never even thought of it through that lens. Mm-hmm. But now that you say that, I'm like having flashbacks to that movie. I'm like, I can actually see what you mean. Like,
okay.
Him kind of growing up a little stunted, but still, still in charge of what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay. What's it called?
The Kid Detective.
Great. Okay, I'll check. What's it on, HBO Max or something?
No, it is on Amazon Prime.
God damn it!
That's why you'd have to rent it.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, what were you gonna say?
But yeah, it's worth it. It's worth $5, and it's just a solid watch.
Cool. I'll check that out. I got so many things to check out. WandaVision. I've been up that ass.
Have you watched it?
Oh yeah, every episode.
Great.
It's amazing.
Great. It's great. It's so good. It's much better than The Mandalorian. I don't know if I like Star Wars. I'll be honest with you. I've had a huge realization. Like, the originals are classics.
Yeah.
Specifically Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Return of the Jedi is not very good.
No, it's not. I think people love it because it's like a trilogy.
Yeah,
but it's I could take or leave that fucking movie.
Yeah,
I mean, just show me the scene between Luke and his father fighting, and that's all I need to see. I don't care about anything else. The Ewoks ruin it. Don't care how Han comes back.
Yeah, there's so much there that I just don't. There's just like a lack of. Dude. I'm not trying to get into a Star Wars discussion, but like Empire's amazing, you know? And the first one is amazing because it's the first one, and it has so much creativity that came out of nowhere and established so much and blossomed into what, like a completely new genre. And then the second one comes along and is like, what's up? Like, we're like even better version of this with more like dramatic storytelling. It's like The Godfather, but set in the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
And then the third one comes along and it's like, this is bad. And then there's the origin or the prequel trilogy, which is like literally indefensible. And then there's the sequel trilogy, which is indefensible. And there's Solo, which while I kind of liked, is kind of indefensible because holy shit, who asked for this?
Yep.
And then there's Rogue One, which is just a mess. And then there's The Mandalorian, which I do like, but I remember alluding to you, it felt like kind of a student film series to me, where like, to me, it was just like, oh, this is good.
There's
on to the next something.
I will say there's not much to The Mandalorian. It's very basic, but in that I think it harkens back to a simpler time. It's literally like a Western in space. And I think that's also that's what parts of Star Wars is like, going to the cantina, looking for Han Solo, like that kind of stuff. And I think that lends itself to, well, let's just make a series out of this vibe, I guess. So in that, I think it's probably the best thing that's come out. But Star Wars has never been my favorite thing.
Yeah, like
Empire is like one of the best movies of all time, just like The Dark Knight is one of the best movies of all time because it transcends the genre that it's in. Exactly. That's why it's so fucking good.
Totally.
Yeah. And
100% in agreement with you on that one.
I could literally just own both of those movies and not fuck with the rest.
That's what's so interesting is like, we're talking about like the little things and how I'm probably not going to watch it, even though like if it were in theaters and COVID didn't exist, if I were bored, I might I'll throw like a couple bucks and go see this. But these days it's like, Like, time flies when you're an adult.
Yeah.
Why would you ever spend it watching stuff you know you're not super liking? Like, just watch The Dark Knight. Don't watch Dark Knight Rises. Just watch The Dark Knight.
What are you talking about? I got Caddyshack 2 on my list.
That's what I mean.
In full frame on DVD, no less.
God. So, yeah, watching WandaVision.
It's the first DVD that my dad bought. Caddyshack 2.
I mean, mine was Tomb Raider with the original Tomb Raider.
Was it widescreen?
It was widescreen. We knew enough to
you're 100% better.
Yeah. Yeah. Not. Yeah. 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 That movie was totally amazing as a kid. So
Tomb Raider.
It's terrible now. But yeah, so watching WandaVision has just opened my eyes, and I'm like, this is a great show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just good. And I love the Marvel universe and their movies. They're terrific.
Yeah.
And they're much better than Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And I'm not afraid to say it anymore. I'm just going to say it now.
Did you love it the moment that it started? WandaVision?
No.
Really?
No. I liked it. And I think that's normal, I have to say. I don't think, I can't just say I love something for like, because the first episode, spoilers for everybody who hasn't seen it, is so, I was like, where are they going with this? Like, it definitely had me hooked a little bit. And then when it went into that weird David Lynch moment near the end, where like the camera angles switch up and the mood changes, and the guy's choking.
Guy's choking at the dinner table.
Everyone's behavior becomes very strange, strangely calm, I suppose. And that's when I was like, ooh, like this seems artistic almost.
Yeah.
Like, this is interesting. And it has only gotten better. I would say only the second episode was really filler to me. Second
deals with Geraldine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I hate that word because like they were still adding stuff in, and it was definitely a slow ramp up to what's going on now. I mean, I liked all of them. I think they've all had their own place in the timeline, and it makes sense the way that they've been building, and it has gotten bigger and bigger. And this last episode was nuts.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Super. Yeah, it's great. It's like, and I have to say too, I love that they're releasing one at a time. It's like when they were doing that with The Boys, and I was like waiting a week to watch it. It would you end up watching the whole episode and really chewing on it more.
Yeah,
just burning through everything. It becomes more like of an experience.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie and I have been watching Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which you don't like, which is fine. But we finished it, and then we watched the movie, and then now she's rewatching it. But she's kind of just like, she'll be on her phone during it. Like, we paid attention through the first time that we watched it, but and I'll just be on my computer or whatever. But I'll hear lines in the show, and I'm like, I don't remember this scene happening. Why is that? And I think it's because we were laughing so much the first time we watched it that I just missed it. Because there's like some really great jokes that I've missed. And season 1 of Kimmy Schmidt is the best.
It's the best one?
Yeah, the best one.
Interesting. Usually, I say this because usually it takes like a first season for a show to even know the direction it's going or the tone it's trying to establish. Yeah. Like The Simpsons or... I mean, any show that's ever existed, except for WandaVision, obviously, seems to have a pretty easy grasp. But they had so much to work with.
Yeah, they did, and it feels like, I mean, there's only going to be one season of WandaVision, obviously. They're not going to leave it on a cliffhanger.
Actually, I don't know about that. There hasn't really been any concrete information on the direction. I thought it would be a one-off, too. I thought what Marvel would just kind of do, like, a season here of, like, popular characters and call it a day, and maybe like they would evolve and do something else.
Well, I think the characters will go into the movies. I think that was the whole idea, is that they would still have like Avengers movies but with a new cast of characters, but to have the TV series going on at the same time as the movies that they were planning. So I would say it feels like a mini series to me. I mean, if you cut out the long credits and the recap type things or whatever, then you would have like, a 4, maybe 5 hour movie or maybe less. It feels like a movie.
If you notice the recap at the beginning of each episode, Elizabeth Olsen's delivery of previously on WandaVision gets more and more dejected. So I almost feel like it needs to be a part of the viewing process.
Well, in that vein, then it's a miniseries.
Yeah, so I mean, it's possible.
Some people might not even remember what miniseries are. Those were
Watchmen is a miniseries.
Huge staple of our childhood.
Yeah. Have you? Watchmen's amazing.
Haven't watched it.
It's on HBO Max.
I will.
You need to watch it.
I got that. I got Search Party. I got Mortal Kombat when it comes out.
I know. You have a list, bro. You've got to because for the viewers out there, Watchmen is a show that takes like 2 episodes to get going, but by the 3rd episode, you're like, oh shit, I see what direction this is going, and it gets crazier and crazier.
Well, maybe I'll watch that tomorrow.
Yeah, I really don't want to spoil anything.
You won't.
But one of the episodes in the middle of the season is one of the best representations of what's going on in America right now.
Okay.
It's just crazy.
Well, I definitely need more of that.
Yeah, I know. That's what sucks is things aren't fun anymore, but
no.
You can still appreciate, which is good. WandaVision has been a great godsend in terms of
actual entertainment.
Yeah, and not being focused on current events or not being thematically related to anything that's going on around us.
But doesn't the bad guy make you just as angry?
You mean the FBI guy?
Yeah. Doesn't he make you just as angry watching it? I
mean, he's your stereotypical government asshole. So it's not the worst thing I've seen. That guy's in every movie ever made. Every action movie ever made.
That is true. The Navy SEAL guy, he's like, they got to do it this way. And it's like, well, I know that the good character's on the other side of the fence, so you're wrong.
Yeah. So, but, did you see the Falcon and the Winter Soldier trailer?
No, I have not. I barely paid attention to the WandaVision trailer. I watched it a little bit, but I kind of purposely tuned out, and I didn't watch the Loki trailer. I'm really trying to avoid those because those are built on I don't know what's going to happen, and I like that. I like going in completely blind. But with a Mortal Kombat, I know the whole story, so I'm excited to just see those characters live on the screen.
Totally.
But what were you saying?
I just have to say, before we get into that Marvel seemingly is releasing a new thing every week for the rest of the year, technically.
Cool.
Because they go right from WandaVision into Falcon and Winter Soldier into Loki, and then I think Black Widow, and then a couple other things.
So Black Widow is coming to Disney Plus?
Well, I think it's coming to theaters is what it's currently scheduled to do so, but I think they're doing it in May or somewhere around that area, so I think that they think that theaters will be open by then.
Man, I hope.
But yeah, Loki looks amazing. Falcon and the Winter Soldier doesn't look amazing to me, but I'll watch it. Obviously, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And anyway, I'm just really excited to see where that goes.
This is a spoiler for WandaVision, so if you want to not hear this, I would suggest scrolling far. Alex Plotkowski hit me up and he was talking about, do you think the astrophysicist that's coming in is going to be Reed Richards? Fantastic Four?
That's an interesting thought. I know, dude,
lots of people are thinking that this is the truth.
Possibly. I feel like I saw that rumor somewhere.
Yeah.
But anything's on the table now.
I know.
We have Evan Peters. What the hell is...
I know.
They had an entire episode where, since this is still spoilers, Evan Peters appears in a twist ending of one episode.
Mm-hmm.
So the next episode, I was like, they've got to explain this, right? Don't explain it at all, even though he has a very heavy supporting role.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what the fuck? What's going to happen?
I know.
It's great though. I mean, I love it. It's
I've
go so many directions, especially with how they ended this last episode. I'm like, shit, this is getting crazy.
Yeah, I've really went down the rabbit hole with like theories of what people are saying, and Caravan of Garbage, they're doing videos about it, and I'm watching every second of that. I'm loving picking this apart and seeing what's right and who's right. I feel like watching Lost. Like, I feel like that's what this is. Like, everyone's just like, what do you think the smoke monster is? Mm-hmm. I'm loving it.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a fun feeling, because that was like 15 years ago now that thing came out.
And I watched it after everyone had said the finale shit. So I was like, well, maybe I'll give it a chance. And then I watched the whole show and was like, I have no one to talk about this with.
That's pretty much what happened to me. I think I think I watched all of through season 4, a couple of season 5, somehow missed most of season 5, and then I watched all of season 6. I don't really know what the hell happened to me, but anyway. But yeah, so yes, Mortal Kombat. Indeed, I finally watched the trailer. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fun without watching it with you. I know. Like, this is ridiculous.
Well, we could do everyone send in your suggestions of what we should do, everybody.
Yeah,
but I was thinking we could just like keep our Zoom on, because it's just us two. There's no time limit, right? And we could just look at each other, make jokes while we watch it. Dude, I'm so fucking excited for this movie.
Yeah, we could just start it at like the same time, and if we direct our mics in the right direction, it would probably not interfere with the TVs that we have set up.
Yeah.
And then I can just be sitting here like this and be like, this is so ridiculous.
I know. That's why it looks great.
Over
here. Dude, I felt like a kid in 1995 again. I was so obsessed with Mortal Kombat, and then I still do think that first movie is good for what it is. But it's PG-13. We finally have an R-rated, fucking fatality-heavy movie.
Yeah, I noticed.
The cast is great. I'm so excited for this.
Sub-Zero straight up cuts a dude, blood falls out of the guy, and then Sub-Zero freezes the blood as it's coming out in the shape of a dagger and stabs him again. I was like, what am I watching?
Yes!
Crazy.
Dude, go have fun looking up the fatalities on YouTube for Mortal Kombat 11, the newest game. Mm-hmm. They are fucking haggard. Look them up. You will, like, I'll do one and Jackie looks at the screen and she's just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's awesome.
But it's just over the top. I'm so excited to see this. It's like, it's comfort food. It's like I'm eating ice cream while I'm watching this thing.
And it looks like they took it seriously too.
Yeah,
it's seriously enough.
You have people behind the camera that know the history of the story. They know, like, I listened to the director breaking down the trailer, which I'll tag that in the YouTube video. But you can hear him talking about it, and he references like Ermac. And who's the other character? Bihan, which is the original name for Sub-Zero. And it's like, how the fuck? He's a director and he knows about this? This is insane. But it's like he actually cares. So I think that we can have something that is serious, but doesn't... It takes itself seriously, but it leans into the ridiculousness of it. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's missing. Because... God, I'm just so excited. The trailer is so great. Like, I haven't been this pumped for a movie in a long time.
We'll have to do like an episode on that for sure when it comes out.
I think so. I think that could be our next something serial.
Yeah, all the Mortal Kombats.
All of it, man. It's so fascinating. I will say people are pissed because there's a new character in this movie, Cole Young. He's an MMA fighter. He has that dragon, like, emblem, whatever, tattoo, not tattoo, but like a birthmark.
Right. What is that? It's a birthmark. What does that mean?
He was born with it.
Yeah, whatever.
Maybe it's Maybelline. That was so ridiculous. But I think that's a good way to introduce a new character rather than having Raiden coming down and being like, hey, you're the one. Come on this way. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of like, you know, someone's branded with it. What the fuck? People are pissed about him as a new character. and that there's no Johnny Cage, which is weird. But I think people are
saving him for the sequel.
That either the sequel or this movie itself. Like, there's no Katana and there's no Johnny Cage, and people are flipping shit on Twitter. And I'm like, this is the trailer. Can you just wait until the movie comes out? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Can we just shut Twitter down?
I wish we could, man. I'm excited.
Well, on that note, actually, I did want to say one other thing. I do think we should head out soon, if that's okay with you.
I gotta pee, so we
Perfect. should. So the other thing is Justice League is coming out in like a month.
Dude, I know.
Psyched. Did you know that it's being released in a 4:3 aspect ratio?
Is that true?
Yeah, I believe so. I did some research on it, and I think it was originally shot in, what was it, 35 millimeter? Is that the one they used for the Master, like that ultra huge look?
Yes.
And then he condensed it to the 4:3, and it was simpler to do because of the film that they had shot it on.
What's the point?
I think that he just thinks that the framing is going to look amazing. So I don't care one way or the other. I'm just excited to see the movie. It was just kind of an interesting thing to note because it's going to look like The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Well, not The Lighthouse. That was, I think, even smaller, but
it's still full frame. I mean,
right.
So I think we've talked about it on the podcast before, but you have widescreen and full screen.
Right,
so,
but then there's a bunch of different widescreens and then a bunch of different full screens.
So the aspect ratio for the Kerrit that you're watching right now on YouTube is, I don't know, 300,000 by 1. I mean, this is the black bars are like that, and then ours is like that. So it's pretty small. But
it's like The Shining is what his would be, or this would be.
Yeah. The original intention for The Shining. But my thing is it wasn't shot that way. He didn't have the full frame in mind, so doing it after is like a 3D conversion for a movie. It's very strange. It wasn't shot that way. I don't get it.
Yeah, I can see that point of view. I just feel like if he is doing it and he feels like it's gonna work, I don't even know if I'm gonna say I trust him. I just don't care enough to have an opinion on it.
That's true.
What can I say? We're finally getting Justice League, and he wants to show it as Nosferatu, and that's fine. I don't know.
It's so strange. This movie doesn't. It's gonna be over the top and bombastic because it's Zack Snyder. It doesn't seem like a simplistic, aspect ratio fits this bombastic film.
Yeah, I know. I think he's going for an art house look, even though it's a $300 million movie.
Yeah,
interesting.
Whatever.
Yeah, so
it's like making The Lighthouse in color. You're like, this doesn't make any sense at all.
Right. But it's coming out really soon. I mean, it literally is a month away. I'm super duper excited because we've been waiting years for this, and it's finally within our grasp.
Well, how about we take some time off and we'll put, before that comes out, we'll put out our review of Superman.
Batman versus Superman.
Our
original one from 2016, one of our first episodes we did.
Because we never talked about Justice League because I think we were kind of done with the pod.
Yeah, because at that came out. I was in Spain. We just didn't do this.
Yeah. But, man, that movie is an utter shit pile. I'm excited to see this one.
What, Batman versus Superman?
No. Justice League.
Oh,
I'm excited to see this new version.
The Joss Whedon version. Yeah, that's awful. It's awful. It's awful.
It's awful. So bad. It's what it feels like? It feels like Superman 2 because you had part Richard Donner and then part Lester. Yeah, dude. Frankly, this is straight. It's more like Superman 4. I know there's two people filming it, but it's so bad. It's it's horrendous. I mean, it's bad. I ended up buying it on Blu-ray because it was $3.99, and I wanted a dose of Batfleck, and I wanted a dose, and so I got about 40 minutes into it, and I was like, this is enough Pfizer for me.
To stop.
I'll just take the one shot, please.
Yeah, just kind of, if we want to hide the other part or throw it away or give it to someone else.
No, you need the second dose to make nah. And then this new one that's coming out is Johnson & Johnson. So
yeah, it's like, well, all right. I guess I could come back for more.
I don't know. I'm excited to see it. Here's the thing. Do you think it will be good? I think that's the biggest question.
I have to say, even though I'm excited, I'm like not excited. Like I was really excited when I heard it was coming out. Now that it's coming out, I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't know how to explain it. I know, like I am excited, but I'm also like, I've been waiting for it for so long. I'm like, do I think it's going to be good? I kind of have a feeling that it's going to be a lot like Batman versus Superman, where I'm going to like it overall, but I don't think it's going to be super good. And I also have a strange suspicion that it will be like, because I walked into Batman vs. Superman with such low expectations.
Same.
Because of how bad everyone was saying, and I fucking loved it. And I still do. And I can identify like the faults with it, but I just personally, it's like intrinsically tied to that first viewing where I was like, this is actually pretty awesome. So I just don't have that same feeling with this one. It's more of a whatever happens, happens. So I would love to watch it and be like, damn, it's like, Lawrence of Arabia.
They should have listened to him.
Yeah. They might. I mean, it might be. You never know. That's what's so exciting about it. So I'm excited to see the nightmare sequence. I'm excited to see like at least a formal conclusion to what they were going for.
Yeah.
That opportunity is like never happens in Hollywood.
For sure. I mean, I'm mostly about the movie. I'm mostly excited that it's going to be long. I think that like he's got complete creative control over it.
Literally 4 hours. Like, damn.
Yeah. And I think that's what made Batman versus Superman, the director's cut especially, even better. Because it like the problem I had with the movie the most was that this tie-in to creating this universe, and it was just like the theatrical version it just felt shoehorned, but the director's cut it explains more and it feels like a full film. And I think that this is going to connect a lot to that and make that, and retroactively make that movie even better. And then hopefully this one's good. That's my hope. I think it'll be serviceable and it'll make the whole cohesion much better.
Yeah, I am excited for a 4-hour superhero movie. I mean, like, that doesn't ever happen. And so for it to be like a 4-hour balls to the wall Justice League movie is like, alrighty, like I can get behind that. Let's see what it's like.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Because that's the thing too, is like I liked the characters. The characters weren't the problem with Justice League the movie. It was the villain, it was the story, it was all those other things. It was the bickering between the superheroes. Other than that,
so bad.
And it's because it's got the Whedon thing on it. And I think that's what killed Ultron as well.
Totally. Which is funny because the first Avengers is still pretty good.
It's almost like he didn't have control. I don't know why that movie is good. I think Whedon is a fucking little pissant. I don't know. I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. That's a whole other episode, actually. That's like not a bad because there's a lot going on there. He did Toy Story, I mean, well, he like was one of the many co-writers, but we can talk about that next week.
Yes, we can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah, that's what this is. And
mid-season break from Batman, we're just going to keep trucking ahead, and then we'll pick that up whenever. Maybe when I finish
Justice League.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
Somewhere
Who
around
cares?
there. Whatever. Okay. Bye. Love you all, and stay and reply to us in emails and stuff, and everyone's talking.
Yeah. Tweet us. kerritpod@gmail.com is the email. Subscribe, like, review, rate. Be nice to people. And don't spread disinformation or misinformation. There we go.
Get HBO Max, and it's actually like the best streaming service, I would say.
Tell us what you think of WandaVision and Justice League, how that's coming out. Mortal Kombat, I'm a big old fan of that. What's your favorite fatality from the new game? There we go, if you watch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll throw some gross ones in.
So good.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye, bud.
Stay safe, everyone.